when I was in jail, I woke up in a holding cell. And I remember glimpses and pieces of my actual arrest. But and I blew and I didn't know it. I wasn't in the car when I got arrested. I got arrested for a DUI outside of my car because I was so
Yeah.
belligerent. I pulled after driving for 2.5 hours, blackout. So I could have killed somebody or myself. I ended up at a 7-Eleven, a corner store, parked up. I'm assuming because I ended up inside of there to grab more alcohol, but I was so belligerent that a woman was trying to take my keys from me. And I guess call the
Yeah.
police. Ratchet Rachel did not like that. Don't take my keys. I don't know you. I think you were trying to take my keys to steal my car because I was that fucked up. She was trying to help me. And I ended up fighting her. So I ended up getting the police called on me. She didn't press charges on me for that, but I ended up going to jail for DUI.
This is Rock Bottom with Ryan. No sugarcoating, no filters. The pain, the chaos, the truth. No bullshit. Just recovery.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom with Ryan and Rachel. This is part of the RR series here with my co-host Rachel. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Apparently, according to my co-host, I've been looking a little stressed. So, um,
Mm-hmm. Called you
now
out.
I'm actually
Called you out.
I'm doing podcasting abroad right now, visiting my dad's house because I hadn't seen him since June and really wanted to kind of get a
Mhm.
mental break because I was having a stressful few weeks, and sometimes you just need to take a mental break from everything and get some space
Yeah.
from where you live and kind of just clear your head. And it's really cool that my dad and I we had a lot of ups and downs in our relationship, and the fact that
Mhm.
now I'm looking at visiting him as a therapeutic thing now, it just shows how much progress has happened in
Yeah.
my life the last couple years, especially the last 13 months after I went to treatment. And so I'm out here, I'm recording without my microphone, which I'm very OCD about having, and don't have my special camera, and I don't have my studio, but I'm sitting here in bed in
Yeah.
the guest bedroom doing a podcast, and that's a big step for somebody who is kind of a perfectionist on
Yeah.
those levels. But in recovery, we got to get over some of those things. How do you feel about that?
But exactly. And for me, I'm a perfectionist in different areas. So I could talk on how, like, what my view is right now. And I'll tell everybody I'm not in a extravagant studio or my own little office. I actually am in the middle of my living room. I have my little setup with all my stuff.
Yeah.
But right in front of me, I actually have my pit bull and I have my whole entire living room. I have my kitchen. I have my door but in the hallway. And that's my view right now. But I don't come from anything big. I never have had anything like that. So even to have this little setup, I feel very grateful for. So it's a different aspect than what you're saying. Because for
Yeah.
me, when I actually did my interview with you for the very first time, that I was like nervous as hell about, I was sitting on
Yeah.
my bed with my laptop and I didn't have a camera. I didn't have a mic. I didn't have a light set up. I didn't have none of this. So it does really show like this ties into our like one of our last episodes, patience, one of the episodes we've done that to me, I said, wow, one day I'm going to have a little setup. Now I have a little setup. And then one day I will have an office or a whole area of my home that I could dedicate like a studio like you do have. So right now it was kind of like it was taken away from you. It's like don't take it for granted.
Yeah. I
So
know. And I'm trying not to. And it's like we got to be appreciate what we have. Like the fact that I
yeah.
have a computer right now with a camera, and I'm in a cozy bedroom and being able to record with you while I'm out of town. I should just be grateful for that, and the fact that I'm in a better mood than I was a few days ago, just because I finally gave myself a
Yeah.
break. I listened to you, and it's nice to have that I've built real friendships with, somebody like you, not only just my co-host, but a friend who's honest enough to call me out, because most people I would say in my life would be too, not intimidated, but just like reluctant to call me out because they know I'll take it to heart or something. But it's nice to have somebody in my life that's gonna call me out and be like, Ryan, you look like you probably, need a break or this or that. And I'm like,
Need a
you know what?
reset.
Fucking do. So I drove 6 hours and came out here, and I've been out here about 48
Oh my
hours
God.
now, and I just feel 10 times better. And I would never be willing to do the podcast without my favorite microphone and my favorite camera, without my background. But here I am, and I'm in a much
Yeah.
better mood just doing it without caring. And that's why, like, I think recovery is about progress, not perfection. And I feel like that
Yeah.
relates to all aspects of recovery, that we just can't expect everything to be
Yeah.
perfect all the time. And, when I got
Yeah.
sober, did you expect things to be perfect overnight like I did? Because I honestly did.
Yeah.
So
I expected to have all my friends come back, which are mainly all gone. Not all, I would say like two people really close to me still around. So I expected all my friends to come back. I expected to make amends right away with like everybody. I expected my sister and dad to like be over everything, my fiance. So that's one aspect. I also jumped into the weight loss thing day one.
yeah.
And I achieved it. I actually overachieved it. And that's another thing I want to talk about. So on my end, when it comes to more patience and waiting for progress. So I achieved the weight loss. Cool. I did not know I was this small. And a lot of people or a lot of women would be like, wow, size 0. That's so exciting. Like, but to me, it's not. It's very tiny. It's very hard to find that size. It's just tiny. And I'm a very petite woman and I'm starting to embrace that. But I did get a trainer to now learn how to maintain. My gym offered a special. So I was like, I'm going to fucking take up on that. And I have a really good trainer and she's been teaching me the correct way to get tone. And this is just a new thing for me to learn. And it's part of my recovery. I use working out for my recovery. It helps me not just for looking better. This is a mental thing too, but she's teaching me that progress and patience with your body is something you really need to do because muscles are not going to appear overnight. I'm starting to get it cut my triceps and my legs are, thighs are very cut up. But in my head, I'm like, I want that big ass that all these girls have. And I'm like, you know what? Your body is small. You're not going to have that, like, and accept it. So yeah,
So you're
this
like,
whole weight thing is mental.
yeah. And you've worked really hard to lose weight, but you just weren't expecting to know what your actual body type was
No.
like until you lost all the weight. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I
that's
haven't
taking
been
some
this
getting used
small
to.
since I would say a lot. Yeah, this is a like, I was 221 pounds and I was also an alcoholic and blacked out most of that. So I don't even fully remember being that big except for feeling so unhealthy and
Yeah.
self-conscious. But I just was so unhealthy. I was blacked out, sleeping all the time. And I just felt like shit. I remember that. And I remember that took patience when I was like, look, I really want to achieve this weight loss. I really want to do it. And then now I'm here and I have like, a little bit of loose skin. I haven't built too much muscle definition. So I'm going in at the gym and more protein because that's what you have to do to get what you want in this situation. But I'm learning how to maintain. And that's something they don't talk a lot about when you lose this much weight. So, and I didn't think
And
about that. But I'm here
you have
now
to
and I'm
maintain.
doing it, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating to not see progress right away at all for me, especially because I'm getting married in April. So
Oh, yeah.
I
I
want to
get it. It's
be
gotta be,
cut.
yeah. And you got 5 months to get to where you want to be, but you got to just be blessed that all the hard work you put in has shown so many results,
Mhm.
like you look like I've
Yeah.
seen pictures of it before, and it is like a complete transformation. Like it's like night and day. And
Thank you. Yeah.
you got to be proud of that.
Completely.
But I know there can be repercussions where you just want it to have the perfect results, from all the hard work you put in. You want everything to look the way you want it to, especially for your wedding and stuff. But I feel like if you keep putting in the work that you have been and you're still dedicated and still committed, I mean, it's just like in
Yeah.
our recovery and our sobriety, it's like we
Yeah.
put all this work in, and we still have to maintain, like you said, we have to maintain our recoveries by putting in the work every
Yes.
day, still going to meetings and all the stuff I have to do, you have to do,
Yeah.
and it's
Hmm.
never gonna be
Going to
exactly how
meetings.
we envisioned it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you have to take time out on that when it comes to recovery though. You need to. Like it's not like, okay, I'm done drinking, like or using a drug of choice. Okay, I'm done using, but what are we gonna do with our free time now to stay sober?
Yeah, exactly. I Yeah, I'm trying to use all my time wisely, like, even when I'm trying to make this podcast my priority and my all my time. Like, it's not even I don't even consider it free time anymore, but I consider it almost like work time, but like I enjoy it. But when
Mm.
everything's not going the way I want it to, or I'm not releasing episodes when I want to, I start to think immediately, I think I'm failing, and I start to jump to all these conclusions
Yeah.
like, oh, the podcast is going out
Yeah.
the window and nobody's gonna listen. Yeah. And I'm just like, fuck.
That's
Like, I
why
wish I
when you
didn't think.
asked me, I was like, here's my chance.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't ask Rachel anything without expecting the truth.
I know, I know, and I got a hard reality in that text message, and I'm like, thought about it for a few hours, which I needed to. I needed to like think about how I've been acting and how I've been portraying myself. And I don't want to put up a big front though, like, and that's what we do a lot of the time. That's what I did in my entire addiction was put on a mask,
Yeah.
like I was totally fine. Whereas now I'm at least glad that I'm making it kind of obvious to you or to anybody else where it's like something's
People who
wrong.
know you.
Maybe somebody needs to ask me if I'm okay, you know?
Basically, and it's okay to admit you're not okay. And that's what that meant when I was like, and by the way, for the people watching, I didn't say, hey, you're fucking up, Ryan. Like, it wasn't like that. It was just like, hey, do you think it's obvious? And then I was like, yep.
Yeah.
So we
And
had a deeper conversation, obviously, but
being a self-conscious overthinking person, of course I jumped to all these conclusions. I'm like, man, have I been just a complete head case for the last month or this or that? And maybe I have been, but like also it's nice to be reminded because I tell myself, okay, well maybe it is a chance to reset because I used to be good at hiding these things. I used to be good at covering up my emotions and pretending I was okay when I wasn't. And now that I'm actually sober and
yeah,
I can actually wear my emotions on my sleeve a little more and I'm comfortable doing it, then it's a good thing that it's noticeable because then it tells me, hey, I do need to like give myself a chance to reset. And then coming out here was a big deal just because it's like I used to kind of view everything with my dad kind of I used to be stressed and I would be like hiding my drinking and this and that. Now it's like I can come out here and actually look at it as a relaxing thing, and that just shows how far the relationship has come in my sobriety, that I look to
yeah,
him for support now, as opposed to avoiding
that's
him
awesome.
to find support in the bottle, and it's crazy how things have changed, so and he and I just went out to lunch
Yeah,
yesterday, had the best conversation, talked about a lot of stuff. I got to vent about a lot of things that you know about, and it was just like, "Oh, I needed this," Um, so I was
yeah,
really excited today to be able to hop on camera with you, even without my favorite setup, and be able to like talk about how important it is for us to get through those tough times like you did a
yeah.
month ago with all the cats
Oh
and
God.
all that stuff going on. And I was
Yes.
like, how the hell did you do it and make it look so easy? Because you had like one off couple of hours that I talked to you, and all of a sudden the next day it was like you were handling yourself, you're holding your
Hmm.
own, and maybe you weren't feeling perfect, but like I admired how quickly you were able to snap out of that. Like, what was your mindset during all that, and how
Thank
did you
you.
like turn the corner?
Okay, so with me, so you are the type when you're stressed, because I know you well enough, and this is why I actually told you what I told you. You isolate, and you distant, and you get in your head, you don't talk about things. For me,
Yeah,
and this is not the healthiest, I'm not like bragging about this for anybody watching either, but for me, I take my day and I had to take the day after the second cat died, actually. It wasn't a boo. I filmed a podcast with you the day after or 2 days after. It was
yeah,
one of our best ones, honestly. I just talk. I'm just myself. I went into hyper focus mode. To me, work and staying busy with things that are productive or going to help me with my future or family, something like that, hyper focus mode. Like I think that was the one time you were like, you okay? Like, and I was like, yeah, I ended up doing like 5, 6 different things for YouTube on a Sunday morning, sent it to you. It's a de-stressor. So I went into hyper focus mode, and that was tunnel vision for me is what gets me through hard times. And that's not always the best way to do that because that means I'm burying, I'm disassociating. And then I have a mental breakdown sometimes. I've said this before to you, and then I'm back. That's just it. I think that's over time with a lot of things that I've buried and I'm still working on, even with my past and traumas, that I just bury it, disassociate, tunnel vision, do what you got to do. Like you said, you were going to be on a podcast, so you're doing it. And then you committed. That's how I am now in sobriety, though. I was not like that when I was using. I would be completely unreliable. To be honest, I don't even think I would have been able to be a co-host at all.
Yeah, I know. And it's
I
like,
would have
it's
used
amazing how
Jasmine
we
passing away to like,
motivate you
yeah, I would
and
have
kind of,
definitely, no, back when I was using, if Jasmine would have passed away when I was using, it would have turned into a complete bend. I would have done something really bad, like a bender. I would have ended up back in jail or something really horrific would have probably happened if I was still using while I lost Jasmine. My 14-year-old had my
yeah,
life.
I could only imagine because she was with
Yeah.
you through all those times. And you were able to
Yeah.
channel it into
She was.
motivation. You were able to, did it help talking about it on the podcast, like the day
Yeah.
of, the next day, and all that? Because I remember talking to you the day of, and I remember you were shut down. I'm like, holy crap, Rachel's not even present right now. Like, she is just like zombie like almost. No offense. It's just, I could tell you were shut down. It was
That
really sad
was,
to like,
yeah, that was hard for me. And then I think even it turned into actually, no, it turned into my fiance reaching out to you without me even knowing, saying Rachel needs a break because I was going to go on air regardless. And he was like, no, no, he's
yeah,
like, no, 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 no. Like I was on me like to him. And that's when he got scared because I was like, no, television, gotta do this. I committed. And he's like, no, you're not. You need to literally like, you need to go put on your show right now and light your candles and deep breathe and have your tea. That's what I do to calm down. Put on rain. I love the sound of rain. I like darkness. It brings me peace. I did that evening instead of recording. And I need to sometimes pump the brakes on everything because sometimes I'm just go, 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 go. And that came with
yep.
sobriety too. So
And that, how you handled that
it's
inspired me on
always
how
like
to
that.
handle the recent stress I had. Just being in the process of
Yeah.
moving and then not having my internet, not having my perfect studio working the way I want it to, and then have kind of paying attention to how you handled that situation, which was really tough. And my situation was different. Not saying it's better or 10 times worse or 10 times better, but
No.
it's how we handle those situations and how we move forward in sobriety and not using the
Yeah.
same vices that we used to use and choosing healthy
No.
avenues like playing rain and the darkness and just meditating and spending time with your fiance and
Yeah.
me just, you know, saying, you know what, I want to see my dad this weekend and just clear my head and just have some time to,
Yeah.
you know, and I have worked on the podcast, but like I have good internet here, so I'm happy to do that. But that's made me feel a little better.
That's
But
good.
just being able to like close that chapter of negativity that lasted, whether it's a week or a month or a year. It's just nice to like say,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done with that. It's time to move forward and I'm doing it sober. We're doing it sober. And that's why
Yeah.
I did that video a few days ago about how milestones are so important in recovery. But I'm like, every freaking day we get through something is a milestone, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
how is it not? I
Literally.
mean, we're all surviving something, like
Literally.
whether surviving the day is a big enough deal. Like just making it to bedtime after a rough day is pretty darn impressive, you know, especially for addicts.
Yeah.
So
It's mean, when that sound in my head ever goes off, because I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care how many people, I'm sure there are people out there, but as an alcoholic myself, I could speak for myself that occasionally, I'm farther into sobriety now, but occasionally that whole like, you could have one creeps in. You could just have one. No, the fuck you can. You're gonna end up at a fucking corner store on the way home without people knowing, and then you're gonna go on a fucking bender. So repeat your why, repeat your why. But when
Yep.
I was stressed out, not just about the cast, but there were other multiple things at once that had happened. In my head, I was just like, there would be that little devil talking, and then I'm like, no, the fuck you can't. I would repeat my why, and then you know what happens when
Rachel,
you
can you
use again for
explain?
anybody. Like,
I've heard you and Jessica mentioning repeating your why, and that's my why. Like, feel like an idiot, but can you, just so it turns into a clip on the episode, what is the why? Can you explain that to people that don't know, like myself?
reason. What is your reason, your deep down reason why? Now, for you, and I don't know everything exactly down to the moment, but to the last time when you chose to take that sip of alcohol, like your last sip, I would say maybe your why would be whatever the hell was going through your mind at that moment, why I'm going to stop. So for me, it's not just my son. I'm not going to be that mom that blames, okay, I did it for my child. Like, yes, he does play a major role in why, but I did
Yeah.
it for myself because if I'm not good, nobody's going to be good. And trust me, I'm not because I fucking help with this household. But if I'm not okay,
Yeah.
I can't be a good mom then. So that's my why I wanted to be better. What was going through your head when you decided to stop? That would be your why,
When
I
I,
would assume.
yeah, like when I decided to stop drinking,
Yeah, like that
or
moment where I'm going to rehab, the time that you talked about, like I'm shaking right now. I mean, I'm sure maybe some thoughts were leading up to it, like many different reasons, but when you were
yeah,
shaking, you were like, I'm done. I'm gonna look into rehab.
yeah, it was a process over the course of 4 or 5 days where like I was trying to taper myself off and do the exact same thing I'd done a million times. That was my why. I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna really taper off this time and I'm gonna control my drinking and maybe come back to it later. And I was like, that's the same mindset I've always had. And then that one morning, the last time I had consumed alcohol to the fullest, because I had consumed it a couple days after the hospital, which is something I don't like admitting, but my sober date is September 28th of
Yeah.
2024. Uh, but still, like my why for going to rehab, I woke up with the shakes. I couldn't get the shakes away no matter how much I was drinking. I felt like the withdrawals weren't going away.
Mm,
And I got so frustrated. And I remember I had like this little seizure in the shower and I just like broke down and wanted to start crying. And then finally I just asked to go to the hospital. And then when I was in the hospital, I was still trying to tell myself, I'm going to get out of the hospital and I'm going to handle it this time. Then I started thinking, I've done this how many times now? Been to the hospital how many times now? And I always have this same attitude. I'm like, shit, I need to do something different. And then this lady
yeah.
came in. It's kind of a spiritual awakening. This lady who knew me from childhood, who recognized my name on the list
Yeah.
of people that probably weren't going to make it. And she came in and visited me and talked to me. And she just prayed for me that I would do something different. And I'm not that religious or anything, but I was just kind of like, this is some kind of sign, like this isn't happening for no
Yeah.
reason this time. I need to go to treatment. Went to treatment and never looked back, but still I catch myself, still making questionable decisions in my sobriety where I'm like, why did I do this? I got to figure out why and understand why I'm sober and how far I've worked and why would I ever drink again, because I feel like it's only gonna take me to a worse place than I was before. So I don't know.
So you
So
don't want to
that's
go
why that whole
back
why thing.
basically to the hospital.
Yeah. And I'm just like, no
Your health.
hospital. I'm tired of jail. I'm not on probation for the first time in how many years?
Yeah, fuck. Oh God. Bring you back.
I'm like, do I
No.
really? Yeah. I do not miss being in trouble or reporting to probation officers or going to court or paying fines or having to worry about blow and goes or DUIs. Like now it's like I drive around and
Piss us.
even if I'm speeding and I'm just kind of like, I'm
Yeah.
not breaking any
Yeah.
rules anymore. It feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, So to me, it just sounds like it's your health. You want to be better. You don't want to be back in that situation with the hospital somewhere. And in your situation, you were in the hospital
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah. Uh, Probably like 12 times total due to alcohol and injuries related to
Yeah.
alcohol. Yeah. Over the
Yeah.
course of
So no,
17
fuck that.
years. Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
fun anymore. And waking up in jail is not fun either, especially when you're still drunk, that you're still like cracking
Yeah.
jokes with police. You don't understand the seriousness of the situation. So you're like sitting there being like,
Yeah.
haha,
Yeah.
what did I blow last night? I'm just like,
My
okay,
God.
well,
Yes, I did that.
yeah. And like I was like sitting
Or
around
waking
standing
up
at the
in
counter, I'm
jail.
like, yeah, cracking jokes in jail, thinking it
What?
was funny. Like,
Yes.
and at the time, you don't think of the consequences. Like, I could have killed somebody when I blew a .34. You know, I could have
No.
killed myself. I could have ran into somebody's house. Like that happened to me a long time ago, where I drove home from a bar and I was trying to peel out with my Mustang, and I tail whipped into a building. You know, so I'm just like, the things I've gotten away with, the bullets I've dodged. There's no reason why I should ever drink again. So that's
Yeah, me too. For me, like when I was in jail, I woke up in a holding cell. And I remember glimpses and pieces of my actual arrest. But and I blew and I didn't know it. I wasn't in the car when I got arrested. I got arrested for a DUI outside of my car. Because I was so
yeah.
belligerent. I pulled after driving for 2.5 hours, blackout. So I could have killed somebody or myself. And not going to pick up my son. I ended up at a 7-Eleven, a corner store, parked up. I'm assuming because I ended up inside of there to grab more alcohol because that's what I would do, or most addicts would do. So I'm assuming that's what I was there for. But I was so belligerent that a woman was trying to take my keys from me. And I guess call the
Yeah.
police. Well, Ratchet Rachel did not like that. Don't take my keys. I don't know you. I think you were trying to take my keys to steal my car because I was that fucked up. She was trying to help me. And I ended up fighting her. So I ended up getting the police called on me. She didn't press charges on me for that. But I ended up going to jail for DUI because my car was there. So that took that I woke up in a holding cell, my glasses off my face, handcuffs still. And I just remember still kind of being drunk and yelling out for somebody to at least pick my glasses up because I woke up with like my face like that, like literally, and my
Yeah.
glasses were off. And I was just asking, because I'm blind as hell, asking a cop for somebody to just help me put my glasses on my face, and nobody came to help me. And then I blew literally what you did, actually, ironically. And then I went to jail and I was so dehydrated. I was just drinking out of that jail sink. Like I was just drinking out of it. And I don't ever
Jesus.
in my life want to go through that again.
No, I know. And those jail sinks are inconvenient because you have to like hold down the button while you're drinking, right? And all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
They make it so you
Oh
can't
yeah.
drown
It was
yourself because
super
you're
convenient.
depressed.
Well,
Yeah.
do they
I hate
really?
those jail faucets and those jail toilets and stuff. Like I remember being in a holding
Oh,
cell in Las Vegas for 72 hours. I was stuck in this holding cell with like 40 guys in like the room the size of the one I'm in now. And I just remember having to go number 2 with everybody right there. And it's like, Jesus.
yeah.
I ended up making friends with a pimp that was in there, and he was in there for getting trouble for solicitation of human trafficking or something. And I wasn't, trying to become his best buddy, but he was kind of like, I was, not trying to brag, but I was, kind of a pretty fresh piece of meat in there. he was, he was,
I know what you mean.
I was like, whatever, I'll make a friend in here so nobody messes with me or whatever. And he as his gift to me was a roll of toilet paper. And I'm like, what the hell are you handing me a roll of toilet paper for? Like I already went number 2. And I hate to say this on camera, but and then he's like, no man, it's a pillow. It's a pillow so you can sleep it off. And I'm like, hell yeah, I used a roll
True.
of toilet paper for a pillow. And that was a blessing at the time. So if I'm
Well,
looking like that was a
yeah,
blessing during shitty days, I'm like, holy crap, I got a pillow right behind me right now. I'm happy with this one.
right.
Yeah.
Like literally, though, I made friends with a racist crackhead. So that was crazy as fuck.
Those are always interesting. God. The people we meet in
What a
jail. Oh my
racist
God.
cracker. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
became friends with
I was afraid of her.
a pimp of all. Yeah. So it's amazing the things we experienced during our lockdown days, but at least nowadays the worst thing that can happen is you lose too much weight too fast and I have to go to my dad's for a weekend.
No, it's just all
Uh,
about it. It does go back into progress. So, like, I didn't go by fast to losing weight, but it's all progress. Like the changes in your body and weight loss and, changing your body. But for you, it's about also this ties back into patience. Like everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. And sometimes it's okay to take that reset. You need to take that reset sometimes. Everybody does. And that's
yeah.
okay. But it doesn't make you
You
less
literally
or crappy. It doesn't make you like that.
it's literally like almost physically pressing a reset button and just saying, "Hey, I'm clearing my head. I'm gonna tackle all these problems one at a time if I have to." Some of them you can just block out and move on, but some things you do have to still address, like I don't know. So yeah, it does require patience and like you said, you've made this huge transformation which I admire and I'm impressed by. Like I've never seen a transformation like it before. And you're still being tough on yourself because you have a wedding coming up because you're putting
Yeah.
yourself under pressure
Mhm.
to get to a certain way. And me, it's like I'm putting myself under pressure because I'm like, I've been sober 13 months. Like I shouldn't be having these problems. I shouldn't be dwelling on things anymore. But it's
Yeah.
like we expect to be perfect and it's impossible. So we got to just take what we have and be grateful.
Yeah. And exactly like about my wedding, let's like talk about reality in both of these situations though. My wedding it consists of, yes, it is 70 people, which a lot of people are like, what the fuck? Yes, it's 70 people, but all 70 people that are invited to this are either family, coworkers that I'm all close to or business partners or very close
Yeah.
friends. There's no like just rando people coming to my wedding that are going to look at me in my dress and be like, I don't see definition in her back. Like
Yeah.
in reality. So who am I really doing this for? Myself. So and then for you, like it's the same situation. Like you just want to make sure everything is running right because you are a perfectionist. It makes you go crazy and things don't go your way. It makes you go insane. And
Yeah.
it takes time to learn how to just, hey, pump the brakes, everything's gonna be okay. Nobody's looking at your body, Rachel, like that. And Brian, nobody thinks
Yeah.
you're doing a bad job. You do.
Yeah. You said that
And
perfectly.
that's where you gotta work on it.
It just shows that we still are able of getting in our own heads, but we're as sober people, almost like sometimes I get in my own head even more because I don't numb it anymore. I don't just shut down those thoughts. Now I actually face
Mhm.
them and you
Yeah.
face them. And it's like, all right, well, look how far we've made it. Look at all the positives that came from your motivation, your working out, all the results that have shown. Like you can't expect it to just look picture perfect in the like how you want it to look in the figuratively and literally. And I'm the same way. It's like, not every day is gonna be the way I want it to. But like I got through another day sober. You got through another day sober. We're both stronger than we were yesterday, a year ago, for you
Yep.
18, 19 months ago. So it's a big deal. Like
19 months on Tuesday. Yeah.
we're kicking ass.
Tuesday.
I knew that was coming up. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm at 406
Shit.
days today, which I'm not. I just check my little sobriety tracker every day just to kind of look at it
Yeah.
and be like, wow,
I
you
have to
know,
too.
I like. Yeah, it's kind of nice. And I don't know what the daily reflection said today, but they always seem to relate to what I'm going through. But no, it's good that we're
To me, though, it's about that though, that also ties in, and you know how both of us are looking at how many days because look who's not counting anymore type of thing. Like we're not counting anymore because we're past the year mark. So the people who are listening that are in early sobriety,
yeah,
you will get to the point, the progress of your sobriety. You will get to the point where you're
exactly.
not even looking at days. I didn't even know. I'm like, how many months am I going to be on Tuesday? Like, I have to do math on it. So
Yeah,
it just turns into a way of life and it turns into who you become. And now you stop counting and you stop obsessing over how your day count. And it does get
exactly.
easier, believe it or not. Yeah.
It does. It does. And I've realized that like once I hit the 1 year mark, I really like, obviously stopped looking at the days as much. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm at 13 months. Oh, I'm at 406 days. Like, holy crap. I made it this far. And it's like, now I'm just kind of looking forward to, like you did, the 18-month mark and then the 2 year mark and stuff. And it's like, I feel like
Yeah.
things do start to come a lot easier the less you start overanalyzing each and every
Yeah.
hour of every day. Because those first 30 days are
Yeah.
fucking hell for most people, and they were for
Yeah.
me, and they were for everybody I've ever talked to. But like when I'm hearing people, when I went to this thing last weekend, this gratitude banquet for Alcoholics Anonymous,
Mm.
and they did this thing where they did a countdown of everybody. There's like probably a couple hundred people in the room, and they said stand up if you have this many years, and they counted down from over 50 years and then 50, 49, 48, and then you got to see these people stand up, and I'm just kind of looking at them, and I'm not an emotional person as we've talked about, but like I was getting kind of emotional,
Right.
feeling butterflies just seeing like these people that are sober for that many years, longer than I've been alive,
Wow.
and they're still standing there. They're still sober. They're still taking it one day at a time. And things have obviously worked for them, whatever they're practicing, whether it's AA or something
Yeah.
else or, any kind of things they do to stay sober. It's working for them. And they choose to stay sober because their lives are better. And our lives are, even though I might complain about
Yeah.
how it was the last couple of weeks, even during those 2 weeks of chaos or month long of chaos, my life was 10 times better than it would have been if I were getting fucked up still.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
a different type of
and you,
chaos.
yeah, and you, the things that are bothering you, whether it's about the results of like, the weight loss and everything, it's like, my God, though, but think of where you were back when you were drinking and look at those Ratchet
Yeah.
Rachel pictures. Look at you now. I
Oh
mean,
God.
you're rocking it, you're confident, you hold yourself well, like you have
Yeah.
like nothing to complain about. So it's I mean,
Yeah. No,
we
I do
all
walk with my head held high.
yeah, and
They
I
all gotta
really
start
admire that.
somewhere.
And it tells, and then you have learned a lot from you as far as like holding yourself with confidence, holding yourself well, and just rocking whatever you got, even if you still got things you feel like you have to work on, you can still hold yourself well and be like grateful for what you have and just, look forward to the next day. And I've learned a lot from you on
Yeah.
that end. So good. And I wouldn't be here recording
I'm
right
glad about
now.
that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been, it's been good. And it's great that in recovery, people come into your life when you least expect it. And I'm glad
Yeah.
we've developed a friendship, not just co-hosts, but we
So
talk all the time, and you can tell that there's things wrong with me, which shows that you pay attention,
yep.
which is good to have people in your life that actually treat
Yep.
you with importance and actually pay attention, because a lot of us didn't have that when
Yeah.
we were using. People gave up on us. So
I've had a lot of people give
I'm
up
sure.
on me and then yet wanted to do a whole intervention, but still are not in my life now. So like what was the point of that? You know? So I had so many people
Exactly.
give up on me and they weren't even really, I guess not. And I'm still trying to accept that. That's a different topic. But friendship
Yeah.
in sobriety. But you know what? That also took a little bit of progress and patience too, because now I have the right people in my life. And yeah, you are thousands of miles away, and so are my other, my Instagram community. Uh, I practice a little bit of the Buddhist way because I do a lot of meditating and deep breathing. And I have a lot of my books on that actually right behind me. I'm
Nice.
not a monk, but I do like the Buddhist way. I'm
Right.
very, very spiritual. I love all of that stuff. I like darkness. Whatever I have to do to feel better. I'm into crystals. Anybody DM me if you want to know more. I'm not a psychic, but that's just things I like to do. And I do have a question for you though. What's your plan when you get back to maintain this, to maintain your positive attitude? Do you have a plan or are you going to just roll with it?
When I get back to town, I am going to kind of like I'm doing with this podcast, which is my passion. I'm going to accept the fact that I may not always have things in perfect order, like the way I like them. With my OCD, I like my routine a certain way. I like my studio a certain way. I like with everything in life, I like to get to my meeting at a certain amount of minutes before I get to my meeting. I like to be prepared for every time I'm chairing a meeting. So like all those aspects I use for like the
Mhm.
podcast, meetings, my relationships, friendships. I just got to remember it's okay to improvise in life. Kind of like you mentioned before we started recording, is improvising is actually kind of exciting. And sometimes things work out better when you just don't plan it out too much. So when I get
Yeah.
back, I'm just going to take things whereas, hey, I did the right thing. I took the time to reset. And I know that if I
Mhm.
ever need to reset next time this happens, because I know there will be another time where I'm stressed months down the road or weeks down the road or years. And all I have to do is just press a reset, do a couple things differently, give myself a chance to breathe, and just realize that whatever it is, like they say in the Bible, I'm not a religious guy, but this too shall pass. You just got to remember whatever is happening at the time is not going to cripple me forever. So, and it doesn't have to cripple me now. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go back with the right attitude. And if my studio isn't working the way I want it to when I get back, guess what? I have plenty of people that are nice enough to say, "Hey, come use my internet so you can record an episode," and I can just bring my laptop like I am
Yeah.
now and do the exact same thing. So I'm going back with the right attitude,
Yeah.
knowing that I have the support, I have the options, and I have the right mindset.
Yep. And I
Yep.
like to call that something that I learned months ago, maybe before my year mark. That's a GPS and goal plan system. So that's
Yep.
awesome. You have a goal,
I
got a
like that.
plan, and you got a system. So
GPS, I like that. Goal plan
yes.
system. I like.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, but
Yes.
that might
I'm
just have to be the
yeah.
title of this episode. No, I like it.
Maybe.
Was there anything else you wanted to cover on my podcast abroad?
No, I honestly genuinely, like I said, like I told you how I perceive you were being the past couple of weeks because I'm your friend, not just, but also because, we do have the podcast and this is both of our passions. This is a form of therapy and part of my recovery too. So I was just like, hey, I know you're not okay. So like do what you need to do to make sure you're okay. Because for me, if I'm not okay,
Yeah.
I can't take care of my child or be a fiance or anything like that. And if you're not okay, everything else in your life is going to fall apart. And even if you have to go for a run, I don't know how long it's been since you've done that. I suggested it. I'm big on fitness. I'm sure running will make you also feel right.
And that reminded me that I had not been doing that is my drug, and I had not done that for the last 2 weeks. So when I get back to town, I'm gonna get
Oh,
back into my running phase because I was in the process of moving and I just my dog was
yeah.
injured as well. That's a big reason I don't run if he's
No.
injured, and he was limping. So I just like give him a break. So I use that as an excuse for me to not run for some reason. And then that was probably messing with my head a little. So I got to remember to stick to what works and stick to what makes me healthy and physically and mentally. So when I get back, I'm going to get back into my
Yeah.
running every day. Taking 2 weeks off was the longest break I've ever taken. So, but at the
You think
same
it'll be like a
time,
setback when you run?
yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit, but I'll just take it easy on myself for the first couple days.
Yeah, do that because you could hurt yourself.
Yeah, I love my runs
I
though,
can't.
and
I don't like that.
yeah, it's like a drug. I get that runner's high, and then I feel good for the rest of the day. I just kind of took
Well,
a break
yeah,
from it
yeah,
because I was just so
that's cool.
scatterbrained. Yeah, but I was happy that
Runner's high with a
I
little bit
didn't.
of caffeine. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, a good feeling. And I used to end my
unless we're
runs.
gonna get
I used to
sober. So
yeah, I used to end my runs with a drink, which is the sad part. Back when I was drinking, I would reward myself with a drink, regardless if it was at 6 a.m. or middle afternoon. But now it's like I reward myself with a protein shake, and I just feel good. But you're right when you mentioned
yep,
that. I was like, I haven't run lately. I haven't been running, and I haven't been making it a priority. So I'm gonna do that when I get back and just do my 5 days a week like usual.
I get it.
Yep,
I get
I'm
it.
excited to
But I
get
wasn't doing well. I fell
excited
off
to
at the
get back.
gym, so,
Yeah,
and I'm
I'm excited to
excited
get
for
back.
you to
And
not. It's not just for the podcast. I'm excited for you to get back because getting back in the swing of things. This is all about addiction. When tough times come and we feel like we're getting punched in the face, it's like we got to tell life you hit like a bitch.
Exactly.
Straight up.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. We just got to stick to what works and stay motivated and be patient with ourselves. And like you said just
Yeah.
a minute ago, like self-preservation, take care of ourselves, or else we can't take care of anyone else, and we can't function if we
Yeah.
don't take care of ourselves first. So I like that.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, we covered a lot on this episode, and really appreciate our listeners
Yes.
for listening to Rock Bottom with Ryan and Rachel. And we
Seriously.
encourage you to reach out to us to be on the show. And we really want different stories, different backgrounds. Even if you are
Yes.
actively using, we want to hear from you. If you've been sober 20 years, we'd love to hear from you. We want to hear every perspective, and we'll talk about all different topics. We appreciate you all
Yes.
listening to us today, and I'll let Rachel say goodbye, and I'll close it out.
Yes, and I would love to talk to any form of any addict. Doesn't have to just be alcohol, because I know that was me and Ryan's, main drug of choice. We dabbled in other things too, but it does not have to be alcohol related. You don't have to be a mom. You don't have to be a jail person. Hey, everybody, we want to talk to you all. And even if you're struggling, our inboxes are open. I'm on Instagram myself on Real Talk with Rachie. You could always DM me. Do not be afraid. I will talk to you. So
Yep,
that's how I
and
would
reach
love to
out to me
close it out
too
on.
anytime. Perfect. Reach out to us anytime. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Rock Bottom with Ryan. No bullshit, just recovery.